Good evening, Mr. Borough President.
Good evening.
Madam Deputy Borough President. I stand here representing, as the Executive Director of the Garifuna Coalition USA, Inc., that represents a community that became known in New York City, specifically in the Bronx, on March 25, 1990, as the largest number of victims of the Happy Land Social Club fire. That's how New York City got to know that there was a Garifuna community in New York City. However, since then, thanks to BronxNet, we have been able to express our views, our voice, our vision. Some of the pioneering producers for BronxNet are Garifunas. And there are some here like Mr. Cesar Arzu, who's sitting over here to my right. Raul Arzu is sitting somewhere around here. So I'm here to support BronxNet and public access. As a customer of Cablevision, I enjoy Channel 12. But on BronxNet, I am able to hear the point of view of my people, my community. And I'm able to listen to Murphy Valentine conduct a live show on Monday nights. So again, as a representative of the Garifuna community from the Garifuna Coalition, I am here to provide my support to Mr. Nabi and BronxNet, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Pamela Garnett from BronxNet. And David Edelstein from the Jewish Community Council of Pelham Parkway.
That's Pamela Garrett.
Oh, Garrett, I'm sorry. Pamela Garrett.
Hi, to the Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz and Deputy Borough President, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Pamela Garrett. I've been affiliated with BronxNet Cable Television since 2006. While I was studying for my master's degree in communications and broadcasting. As an intern at BronxNet Television, I have learned many skills in film and television. I've learned how to operate a camera free of charge. I've learned how to adjust lighting, set up stage, computer graphics, all skills that would have cost me money at some other place or school or facility. I've also was able to attend a free journalism workshop which taught me how to research, write, package, produce, and report a news topic, which would have cost me money somewhere else. My suggestion is that you renew BronxNet cable television so that they can stay on air and help other students, college students, high school students, graduate students that could not afford to go elsewhere, that could not get the experience that they want to get. My son also is interested in film and television, and they have given him the opportunity over the summertime that other places would not otherwise give him the same opportunity. Please, I ask that you renew the cable franchise for BronxNet Television, and I thank you for this opportunity to speak out on behalf of BronxNet Cable TV.
Thank you. Mr. Edelstein?
How are you doing? Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to testify this evening. My remarks hark back to the instructions and the information that the gentleman from the city agency told us about judgments based on community service, Cablevision's community service, and Cablevision's customer service. So I want to bring those back to our attention. I'm the Executive Director of the Jewish Community Council of Pelham Parkway. I'm also a Cablevision customer. I can certainly tell you about Cablevision's commitment to excellent customer service, about the time, twice actually, that the customer service representative carefully and expertly talked me through the rebooting of my system after my grandson twice removed the programming card from the box, or the quick restoration of service after a storm caused the line of my home to fall. But I'm sure there are thousands of other Bronxites who can attest to Cablevision's customer service. My special reason to be here tonight is to tell you how eager Cablevision has been to support community programs throughout the Bronx, to seek out worthy activities that deserve their support. Our agency has received Cablevision support for our services to seniors and other community services for nearly 10 years. The grant application process is simple and straightforward and makes it very clear that Cablevision is eager to be an active and energetic part of community life throughout the Bronx. Community groups are always hard-pressed to maintain the programs and services that our Bronx neighbors count on. We are most grateful that Cablevision is there to count, for us to count on. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that a written statement? Thank you. Marianne Arian from Alliance for Community Media, and German Cayetano. I'm sorry about it. German Cayetano from BronxNet.
Good evening, Mr. Borough President.
Good evening.
Deputy Borough President. My name is Marianne Arian, and I'm here representing the New York chapter of the Alliance for Community Media. And I actually drove here tonight in a wintry mix from Putnam County, New York, where I run channels up in that town. And the reason for that is BronxNet is actually a jewel in the crown of public educational and government access channels in this state of New York. And it really matters, not only to the residents here in the Bronx, what happens to BronxNet, it matters to the rest of the state. It is really vital that BronxNet gets the new equipment it needs and gets the additional facility it needs to grow over the next 10 years. If it doesn't, that would hurt all of us. It's also important in the franchise negotiation that you note the wording. I haven't seen your proposal, but in the past, in Cablevision franchises, it mentions the basic tier of service and how the PEG channels should be on that basic tier of service with no additional charge. Now, this has become a big issue, not only in New York State, but parts of Connecticut and New Jersey. Please take note of that wording, whatever it is, that it preserves that right, because that is an argument now. There is litigation, and there is a formal complaint before the PSC about this. There's a bill in committee in Congress, and a lawsuit, a federal lawsuit in Dearborn, Michigan, to determine the outcome of the right to someone on the basic tier to not have to, for instance, spend money on additional box just to get their local channels. You know, whether or not that applies to many people here, just keep in mind over the next 10 years there could be other kinds of technical issues regarding to delivery or digital delivery, and just protect your language so that should the outcome of those cases rule in the favor of the public, to put the burden on Cablevision and not on us, that you would be protected. And lastly, I'd just like to implore that you really take care of how BronxNet grows, because it really is an issue beyond
15 seconds.
Oh, beyond that. Well, I'd like to thank you for being here, and I wish you the best possible outcome for the residents of the Bronx and New York State. Thank you.
Thank you. German?
Good evening, Mr. Borough President, Deputy Borough President. How are y'all? I am a born and raised Bronxite. Proud of where I'm from, and I'm also a ex-New York City bus driver, first responder of 9/11, and thank you. The public access channel has been great for me. It gave me a vessel to use when I didn't know where to go. I grew up in the Bronx listening to rap music, and one of my heroes passed away, and BronxNet was there for me with the help of Dr. Bob Lee, to let the Bronx know that we lost a legend. And I'm in this for an extremely long fight to make sure that he is recognized and his legacy does not just go away. But we need accesses like the BronxNet, because they're for little people like me that have no avenue, nowhere else to go. You know, the big cable stations, we don't have the money to pay them and stuff like that. So access channel is definitely needed in the community, and that's what I'm here to testify for. All right, and that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond. You know, I remember when I was a teenager, I used to put on the cassette and wait for that super woofing Mr. Magic. I know a little bit about that, see? Aubrey Eric Smith.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Borough President, Ms. Vice Borough President. I'm here today to kind of talk about my own little personal issue because I read about this in the Daily News today. That's the only reason I'm here. I usually come a lot more prepared, but I was really thinking about what you asked about, which was justification of Cablevision. I've been sitting here for about an hour or so, and we're trying to justify the existence of BronxNet. That's kind of silly to me. BronxNet is a no-brainer. I myself am a producer. I just haven't used it. Why are we doing this kind of a performance for Cablevision when they should be doing a performance for us on why they desperately need BronxNet? That's just one thing that I noticed. But I'd like to talk about, in my 2 minutes that's left, I'd like to talk about an incident that happened to me. I'm here representing Northborough Business Consulting, which is my own business. It's a business consulting firm, and I had all of the services of Cablevision. I had the phone, I had the internet access.
Just a second. Could we be respectful, please? Thank you.
I had the phone, I had the internet access, I had the cable. And I had a fire on February 23rd in my home, which caused me to have to leave my home. I own a brownstone on Walton Avenue, not far from here. Also, Vice President of South Bronx Community Association, Julio Pabon, President behind me. We talk about the homeless shelter, but let me continue on. When that happened, Cablevision was not as responsive as I thought they would be. They mishandled my bill. They overcharged me for services I wasn't using. I got back to them, and I'm going to read my letter that I read to them. To who it may concern, I'm Aubrey Eric Smith, and my billing account issue, my website reactivation issue, I've found that Cablevision and Hostway, which is their affiliate, have acted in a negligent fashion, causing my website and subsequently information vital to my livelihood to be suspended, if not lost permanently. I've tried to get help from both companies, but have been on a merry-go-round of representatives for the last several weeks, all of which has gotten me nowhere. I'm going to stop there, and I'll put this into the record with you later. But what I'm saying is that Cablevision, in my opinion, should be here asking to continue. They've become too large to fail. They need more competition. We need Verizon, Comcast, Time Warner, anything. Because at the very top to the very bottom, there's a complacency in that company, and I'm making you aware of it. Be very careful about dealing with Cablevision because they're not as sensitive as they make themselves out to be.
Thank you. Eileen Reamer and Bice Wilson from Meridian Design Associates.
Hello, I'm Eileen Remore, and I'm the co-host of No Offense But with Anthony and Eileen. This is Anthony, and we have a show Thursday nights. We missed it because we were here, but Thursday nights, channel 68 at 6:30. Our show is a comedic talk show. Our first half of the show, we just banter about stuff. It really doesn't have much social value, but it's a lot of fun, and people will laugh. The second half of our show, we always have a guest. It's like a hip-hop artist or a singer or a comedian, and we give up-and-coming artists the opportunity to showcase themselves, and we're really proud of that. And we're very grateful to BronxNet for training us as Access producers and giving us the opportunity to have this show. But honestly, we need some equipment upgrade. It's very frustrating. I mean, part of me, I like to look on the bright side. It's kind of nostalgic using equipment that I Love Lucy and Ed Sullivan Show probably used. But when I look at what Manhattan public access has, they have state-of-the-art everything, and it's frustrating how in the Bronx we're treated like second-class citizens compared to Manhattan. And so that's all I'm asking is for you to upgrade the equipment and keep supporting BronxNet. I see you, Mr. Borough President, on Bronx Talk, so I know you're a supporter of public access. And thank you very much for letting us speak today. Thanks. Got anything?
No, and anytime you want to come on our show, we'd love to have you.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson? Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Deputy Borough President, my name is Bice Wilson. I'm a principal with the Architecture, Planning, and Business Consulting firm of Meridian Design Associates here in New York City. I have been involved with the development of community media since 1975 when I was one of the people who helped to start Manhattan's governmental access channel, Channel L, which was the first interactive cable television channel in the country. I know what's going on in the world of public access all around the country. That's the people I serve. And I need to echo the gentlewoman from the Alliance for Community Media in telling you what an incredible resource you have in BronxNet and in Michael Maxnabi. BronxNet is an innovator, a leader, an exemplar, and an advocate for Bronxites' interests in shaping the 21st century public right-of-way. Right now, in the Bronx, you are having installed 2 brand new fiber optic nervous systems. Those fiber optic nervous systems are what we call the intelligent public right-of-way. In the same way that you would shape highways and railroads and other resources around your community, they need to be shaped to serve the needs of the residents of the Bronx. My firm has been a leader in bringing the attention of the urban design and economic development community to the fact that this public right-of-way deserves to be shaped with the same mindfulness we shape any other part of our cities. These 2 fiber optic nervous systems need to be shaped to serve the public good, and that public good is basically community, cultural, and commercial development. In the course of the past year, I have worked with BronxNet to pursue the mandate given to them in their 2008 user needs survey. And we've done an extensive survey of the entire borough. One of the things that came to our attention is that there is a vast network of existing public sector, creative economy, knowledge industry, and human services institutions whose missions could be dramatically increased, their effectiveness could be dramatically increased if they had access to 21st century communications technologies. This would help to drive those industries, which are the industries that are growing in our economy. That 2008 user needs survey told BronxNet that the citizens of the Bronx believe that they need more BronxNet, more training, more technical assistance from BronxNet in helping institutions to set up their own in-house capability of communicating in this important medium, and more capability to capture the content that happens all over the Bronx. When our firm designs production facilities these days, we don't make studios. We make content capture spaces.
Your time is up.
Okay. I'd just like to say, if I could, that there is a presentation up here that will be up here, and we'll be here to talk to people about it as long as they'd like to.
Thank
Please
you, Mr. Wilson.
support the plan. BronxNet has a plan, and it's worth doing.
Thank you. Professor?
Mr. Borough President and Madam Deputy Borough President, thank you for hosting us this evening. My name is Tom O'Hanlon. I'm an assistant professor of the Lehman College Department of Journalism, Communication, and Theater. I'm here to speak about the urgency of expanding funding to public access television, and specifically to acknowledge the vital service that the BronxNet community television system provides to the people of the Bronx. I've had many opportunities to witness BronxNet's sincere commitment to serving the needs of the community by providing vital service that would otherwise be lacking. I've seen BronxNet's programming, participated in it myself, and spoken on many occasions with their senior staff. While serving the public is an expression that's used so frequently by community leaders and organizations, I'm happy to say that BronxNet does more than talk about service, they deliver. That's why I'm respectfully asking you to take all of the necessary steps to make sure that BronxNet's established track record of delivering quality community television will not be hindered by inadequate funding. As a college professor and a broadcaster myself, I've sometimes joked that a cable franchise is a license to print money because a company's given the privilege of establishing its own government-sanctioned pipeline direct to the homes of paying subscribers. Now, with that privilege comes the responsibility to serve the public, and it's more than the cost of doing business, it is the right thing to do. Historical data looking back into the early days of broadcasting and cable clearly states the intent of media is to serve the public, and I've been told that the provision that allows BronxNet to be funded is known as an appendix to the franchise agreement. Without a franchise, a cable operator is just talking to itself. We all know that, and cable operators know it too. Please make sure that this valuable franchise is not just given away. BronxNet provides technical assistance and the means for Lehman College to promote excellence in education in the Bronx. And as the producer of the TV news show Inside Lehman, I'm delighted to tell you that the program's received 17 nationally known awards in the last several years, including an Emmy nomination just several months ago. This goes hand in hand with numerous Emmys and other distinctions that have been awarded to BronxNet for its fine variety of community programming. BronxNet also provides valuable internship opportunities for Lehman students who are able to graduate with professional experience as a result of that. I know for a fact that these young people are learning many great things and are taking what they learn out into their professional media careers. With that, I fully appreciate that you have the authority and the public support to act on BronxNet's behalf. I and countless other people who live right here in the Bronx will be very grateful to you for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get your written testimony? Thank you, Professor. Good evening. James Carney of Lehman College. And after him, we have Coach Stephen Lynn of BronxNet. I'm sorry, James Carey.
No, it's Carney.
Carney? They writing, I apologize.
I wish I had his money. Good evening, Mr. Borough President, Madam Deputy Borough President. I'm Jim Carney. I'm wearing 3 hats here tonight. The first is representing our president, Dr. Ricardo Fernandez of Lehman College, on behalf of BronxNet Community Television. As you are aware, Lehman has served as the host for BronxNet since 1993. During that time, one of the most dynamic, innovative, and productive partnerships, local community media, media education, and community journalism has evolved. The unique partnership between BronxNet and Lehman College has resulted in the creation of new types of community programming serving our borough and beyond. Additionally, hundreds, if not thousands, of journalists and communications professionals have been created through the innovative internships and singular programs created over the years of our cooperation. Joint projects such as the Eyes on the Bronx program, funded by the Pew Center for Civic Journalism and jointly run by BronxNet and the Multilingual Journalism program at Lehman, explored new territory in urban and civic journalism. The partnership is invaluable to Lehman students, and it's providing unprecedented opportunities to students of color and women to enter and excel in the areas of media and journalism. Former Lehman students and BronxNet alumni are winning Emmy Awards and working at CBS, ESPN, and even News 12. It is imperative that this relationship be allowed to continue and to flourish and grow. We urge you, Mr. Borough President, to make sure that support for community media in our borough and BronxNet not only continue, but be expanded so that additional opportunities be provided to our young people. Changing hats now, as you know, I was the former executive director of BronxNet between 1993 and 2002. During my tenure there, my team won multiple Emmy Awards, Cable Ace Awards, and we changed the very nature of community media in America. Under the steadfast and energetic leadership and great hair of Michael Max Nobby, BronxNet continues to break new ground. With the addition of the Future Media Professionals Training Program and BronxNet's new youth channels, the future of community media and programming is very bright indeed. Again, with your support and continuing support of BronxNet and the continued support of Cablevision. I've also been asked to read the following on behalf of the Lehman Center for the Performing Arts Executive Director, Eva Bornstein. Quote, I'm writing to wholeheartedly support BronxNet, which Lehman Center for the Performing Arts finds essential in informing community residents about the rich diversity of cultural events held in our borough. BronxNet has been invaluable in their assistance to the center in promoting concert hall performances by a wide array of internationally acclaimed artists and has collaborated with us in taping several of the shows and civic events for rebroadcast. We have greatly benefited from the live interviews in which she personally has participated in with visiting artists, providing critical opportunities to talk directly to the local public about the traditional dance and music forms presented and the special ticket discounts offered. Nothing pleases me more than to have Bronx residents greet her and say, I saw you on BronxNet. Without the support of BronxNet, we would not be able to reach the community residents of the Bronx in quite the same way, and we urge the renewal of their contract. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Carney. Steve Lynn, can I get your written testimony?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, family.
Good evening.
Before I get started, I have to give honor to my Father, my Heavenly Father. I don't know about you, but I'm thankful for today. Today was a good day. Wouldn't you say? It was a good day. Somebody didn't make it today, so today was a good day. Mr. President, elected officials, colleagues, and friends, it is with great honor and humility that I stand before you today on behalf of not only Dare to Dream, A Father's Guide to Success, but more importantly, the thousands of loyal viewers and dedicated fathers whom watch our show and actively participate in our fatherhood trainings. As you know, for many decades, public access television has been a catalyst in providing informative and highly entertaining programming, highlighting both the accomplishments and concerns of the community, oftentimes unseen in mainstream media. Unlike our major network colleagues, public access television seeks to empower our communities through innovative programming, showcasing a myriad of institutions, grassroots movements, artistic venues, and cutting-edge trainings, which help foster positive communal and individual growth. For many producers such as myself, the opportunity to be professionally trained, consistently supported, and aggressively promoted through BronxNet television has without question provided the solid base in which our voices could be heard, addressing critical issues which confront our personal lives, our families, and ultimately our world. It is in this light that Dare to Dream, A Father's Guide to Success, was created with the sincere hope of comprehensively training fathers from all walks of life in the skillful art of fatherhood. Since its premiere showing in 2008, Dare to Dream, in collaboration with BronxNet Television, has reached thousands of fathers desperately seeking to become a positive role model in their child's life, yet lacking the experience, support, guidance, and spiritual understanding necessary to do so. Our unique style of training has been overwhelmingly received by viewers from across the country, bringing with it a sense of responsibility, discipline, and commitment to success not found on any other network, no other network in this country. As a father, I am confident that you can appreciate the value in this type of programming, particularly in these times of what some have deemed a fatherless nation, and assure you that with the continued support and leadership, Dare to Dream and BronxNet will make a difference in this neighborhood. We love you. We want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to my family. These are some dedicated producers, and they do wonderful work. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you. Can we get your written statement, please? Your testimony. I'm sorry? Oh, you submitted one? Okay, thank you. Adam Hassan Nobelu. Is it Hassan Nobelu?
Hassan Belio was when I came from Albania here. So now I'm American citizen, And my name is Adem, and the last name is Beliu. But for 12 years in Albanian culture, show was Beliu, B-E-L-L-I-U. Now, BronxNet is, I don't like to speak about myself, but I like to speak about second generation. My daughter was 2 years old when the Albanian culture show started on BronxNet. And now she's 14 years old, then she has own show in BronxNet. How wonderful it is for the second generation to give chance to American people and to show them how is Albanian culture, how is the traditional songs, how is the dance, how is our culture. But also BronxNet help new immigrants where they're coming from Albania. We are thousands immigrants coming every year here in this country, and especially in the Bronx, because we are big and a large community in the Bronx. And every week they are watching the right direction and the clear information, because they don't know, English. So this opportunity, this chance, BronxNet give it to them. And also I like to say BronxNet for me, not only for my daughter, it's the second generation, but for me it was like a dream when I was in Albania, but now I feel like I'm in Hollywood. I can do everything in this screen, so when I feel it. I finished the college in Albania and worked for 15 years in the school for music teacher, classic music. I was used to play trumpet, but no more trumpet. More than trumpet, what I love it, it's camera and the Albanian culture show in the BronxNet. I can imagine if don't exist anymore BronxNet. I don't know what I'm going to do. So thank you very much for BronxNet who give to us this support for Albanian community. Then also you are supporting them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want you to know that Hollywood has nothing on the Bronx. The Bronx is much better than Hollywood.
All right. I'm sorry about that.
So you're in the Bronx. You don't have to say you feel like you're in Hollywood.
Okay.
We're better than Hollywood.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. My daughter, she said that.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Mr. Borough President, Madam
Good evening.
Deputy Borough President. Free speech. Free speech is one of the tenets that this nation prides itself on. But what good is free speech if no one can hear you? What good is free speech if no one sees you? What good is free speech if our major mainstream media is a portavox for corporations and the government? Free speech must be. Public access television, the public airwaves that are the community radio stations, such as Pacific Radio and the college stations throughout the country, provide a platform for the otherwise voiceless. BronxNet Television, along with all of the other cable television stations throughout our small towns, Main Street America, Main Boulevard, the Grand Concourse, wherever we are, wherever our voices reside, need access so that the people's voice can be heard. We are here to defend the uplifting of the American consciousness, and we're here to oppose the monopolization of the airwaves and the dumbing down of America. You can clap. As a producer from WBAI, I have found the kindred spirit in BronxNet Television. Michael Moxnabi, with the wonderful staff that support the efforts of our Bronx community, have made it a point to raise another generation of youth that will go on to accomplish great feats of distributing information and keeping the ideal of a democratic public airwave a reality. BronxNet, along with other public access television stations and radio stations, represent a democratic airwave. Give yourselves a hand. In conclusion, despite the rain, we had a really good turnout. Madam Deputy Borough President, Mr. Borough President, I look forward to our future collaborations. And lastly, let's protect those public airways as a sacred trust.
Princess Lanita Jones.
How you doing, everybody? I'm going to take Princess, come to my left. I'm the CEO, producer, host of Crossover Television Live. I want to say a pleasant good evening. We just left BronxNet Studios. My celebrity guest flew in to do my live TV show. We do it every week. You've been invited. So I want to say ¿Cómo está? I want to say we do a diverse show. So I want to do this. I want to say ¿Cómo está? I want to say ¿Cómo allez-vous? I want to say good evening to all folks tuning in, locking their dials, that listen to Crossover TV, watch us each and every Thursday night. And if I forgot, Odado, I want to say, I did the African Day Parade, Odado, going out greetings to all folks tuning in, watching us, and supporting us. And I want to say, we have some celebrity artists that flew in to do my live show today. We've had everybody on that show. Toughest. I want to say Flaragon is here. I want to say big up to Maca Diamond. And I want to say definitely, I tell you, these are all icons right here. When you guys, when they open their mouths, you're going to know who they are. So I want to say thank you so much, Pinterest, for holding me down today on Crossover TV Live. But I want to say that Michael Maxnabi, if you could just stand up for 1 second, please. Audrey, if you can stand up for 1 second. Thank you for being my guest last week, Michael. David Jenkins, if you can stand up for 1 second. I want to say good evening to all the Access producers here that are in the building. I think you guys have said everything that I need to say tonight. We are a diverse show. We are given a voice, and it's thanks to the folks at BronxNet Studios. It's thanks to all the folks that care about what we do at BronxNet. You always invited guests to BronxNet Studio. You know it well. You know, is it C19, right? So you guys know it well. So I want to say, give yourselves a round of applause, all of the Access producers here. Your programs are great. You are excellent. We are the boss, all right? So I want to say thank you guys. I'm gonna turn it over to each one of the celebrity guests that are here tonight. They're just gonna, you guys want to hear a song? Like we got 1 minute and 22 seconds. All right, you guys ready? Pinches, come in.
Yes, Kanja, I just want to say thanks for Crossover TV and BronxNet. You know, you've been doing things all over.
I can't run away, for your eyes only. Oh, stick by Pincher's side, for your eyes only.
Conjure all the way.
Well, my name is Mr. Flow again, and I'm also one of Jamaica's top artists, and I can say, Kanje, love her bad, love Tanja bad, what? Bad.
And I'm Macadam and the Wula Whoop lady, Wula Whoop, and make up your face and go on like an, Wula, don't disturb me.
And I'm the toughest. Show me a sign, just tell me what you do. You know see how we the wicked one slow. But BronxNet just a cut and got show. Jah always make we happy, we never make we blow.
Princess, I love you for supporting me, holding me down. I want to say to all of you guys that tune in and watch my program, I want to say thank you so much. If I don't say to Deputy, I love you so much for all the things that you do. I love Camilla Price. I love your dad, Ruben, the boss. So I want to say thank you guys so much for just supporting us over the years. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
And BronxNet, you guys make this possible. We mentor a youth segment. Thank you.
Thank you for probably the most lively testimony I've ever seen as a legislator. Thank you all. Next we have Marissa White and Shireen from Bandolero Enterprise.
Hi, my name is Marisa Massimino White. I was born and raised in the Bronx. Had the privilege of going to grade school, high school, and college in the Bronx. I am the intern coordinator for BronxNet Television, and I want to talk to you today not only as the intern coordinator for BronxNet, but as a parent and as an educator. We work with high school and college students, and we take that work very seriously. We are committed to not only providing these students with the technical training, the equipment access, and the programming so that they can get that training, but we're also committed to providing them with access to professional people, people that will hopefully not only shape them professionally, but personally as well. Through BronxNet, they have access to an Emmy Award-winning documentarian. They have access to a filmmaker. They have access to graphic artists. They have access to our program manager. They have access to all of us as professionals, as committed to them in their learning process. We provide them with tangible evidence of that training, meaning they have a reel when they leave us, they see the work that they do, their name is on the credits when they leave us. We provide them with recommendation letters. We provide them with reference letters. We provide them with professional references when they apply for jobs and they call us. So we are really committed to that education of these young people. We have more and more high school students that are applying to us every year. By the close of 2009, we will have trained over 200 students just this year alone. I can say that about half of those students are high school students. And the reason why I emphasize high school is because, as Dawn Johannes from Jonathan Levin said, they are the future. We want these kids to go to college. We want these kids to have professional careers. We want these kids to say, I grew up in the Bronx, I went to school in the Bronx, I got trained in the Bronx, and look at what I've accomplished. That's what we want. So when I say half of those are high school students, we are committed to them as high school students. We encourage them to go to college. We encourage them to intern with us for as long as it takes for them to get their both feet on the ground and feel confident in themselves as students. A lot of these kids don't learn the same way. They don't do as well in school as other kids do. Yet when they come to us, a whole new person is born. When I see these kids come in and they can't even speak to me and tell me what they're interested in, and 3 weeks later they're doing camera and floor managing and audio, that to me is a huge success. When I see them tell me I'm going to college in the fall, that to me is a success. We are successful, we are committed, and we hope to remain so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings, Borough President and all the residents of the Bronx. I am an access producer. I have 2 shows on BronxNet, one called Real Conversation and one called Real Entertainment. I'm here to, testify that I appreciate what BronxNet has done for me, gave me a venue to express myself and have a show, actually 2 shows, to explain real issues among our people that dwell and reside in the Bronx. So I would like to try to say, I hope that BronxNet really continues to do what they have already done for me, which is gave me encouragement, gave me the skills and the information and the encouragement to continue on and doing effective conversations, even though I caused controversy, but nevertheless, they gave me that venue. So I don't want to be long and drawn. Most of the times I have hour shows, so I just want to say direct things. I hope that BronxNet stays in existence and for the next 100 years or further than that, as long as we can, survive as a nation and get out of all the crises that we're in. And I think that we need to expand the budget towards them to get a better operation, because like most of the speakers have said, our equipment at BronxNet needs to be updated, as well as the facilities. So whatever it takes, or whatever conversation I think, Borough President, you have to do, engage in, I think that it's imperative that you do that and continue on, with the good work that you're doing, as well as BronxNet and Verizon and anybody in association with BronxNet. So I'm not going to be too drawn about it. I know I got more time. And I just want to thank a person who actually was a producer, access producer that led me to BronxNet, which is Pamela, which is known as Dimex, because I know that me and her always have controversy on the shows, but she is the one that inspired me to come to BronxNet and gave me that or direction, and BronxNet opened their doors to me and allowed me to do what I needed to do as a person. So it helped me develop myself. I thank her, I thank BronxNet, and all the residents of our community. So I can thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Spivey. Pamela?
Good evening. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I'm Dimex from Sonia Vision, and I just want to say BronxNet equals power. BronxNet is a known entity recognized for its programs, vast diversity of producers and their shows. BronxNet is recognized by the community, and many times we are chosen over main media because we offer original shows that touch the hearts of our communities, who are also the consumers or constituents that help support the mainstream. We talk about our problems, our issues, our children, our coaches. People tune in, call in, tell me they love the shows. My viewers tell me to keep up the good work, so I know we're watched. People want us to keep talking about the issues that they don't normally hear or see on mainstream. We fund our shows because we love what we do. We need a voice, our voice. Main media is very busy and can't cover everything, nor can they always be there for the little guy. Your mothers, your fathers, your sisters, your brothers, and most of all, our children. BronxNet gives people a start on being trained, developing skills that lead some to pursue a career and others to gain a hobby, thus staying out of trouble. Help us grow, feed our hunger to be great, be a part of making a difference. Don't silence the voice that stands for our freedom, because at the end of the day, your decisions affect us. Please be responsible for the growth of the next generation. We love doing what we do, and we need more help, not less. I also have a mission to bring production to some of the lost children in residential homes through ACS, where parents don't want them, giving them a chance to be filmed by a professional, using cameras and equipment, and being able to commit to a project maybe for the first time in their lives and being able to see it through. A finished product of their voice, their views. So please help us all who spoke here tonight with our mission for change. Thank you. We need you. God bless.
Thank you. Stephen Bartholomew of Church Alive Community. Mr. Bartholomew.
Good evening.
Good evening.
A lot of things were said for the past 2 hours, and I would just like to underscore the importance of public access and the ability for us to be empowered as people. Just so you know, Cablevision they are required to be in an agreement with the City of New York to allow for public access facilities. They are not the only ones who live up to that commitment. There are other companies such as Fios, Verizon, and others who has now entered the market and are doing their due diligence in that matter. It is important to understand that the folks here at BronxNet are human beings, and they try hard. We need to be underwritten, we need to be supported by companies like Cablevision. No longer can we have complacency or lack of foresight and vision at Cablevision and allow that to dominate our lifestyle here in the Bronx. A couple of things I wanted to point out while I was here. As a producer myself, I started out about 10 years ago, and just about the tender age of 13. And at BronxNet, I had an opportunity to get a skill, take that skill, move on to college, and become someone in my own community. You know, as a son of a pastor, I see the importance every day to empower people. Dr. Burkett, who can make it here, he had a prior engagement. He wanted me to speak on his behalf also. He does everything for the community. Everything just short of running for office. But our goal is to empower people. Our goal is to make life better for people. As a producer, I have taken up a very similar goal. And a facility such as BronxNet plays a very pivotal role in giving us that opportunity. From then to now, we have served over 900,000 families. We have also been able to reach the halls of the White House, Mayor's office, and even the Bronx Borough President's office. And we do that not for ourselves. We do it because there are people in this community that need our help. We do it because there are people in the community that needs to be empowered. We do it not for ourselves, but for others. There are many producers at BronxNet that continue to impress me because their work, their diligence, and their drive shows an enduring effort to keep this democracy we have. And while we are here today debating or contemplating the very existence of BronxNet, I'd like you to know that we are at a point of no return. Media is a major part of our society, and the public must have a piece in that pie. The public must be able to take part in a discussion. The public must be empowered. And finally, the public must be aware of what's going on in the community. I'd like to take this time to thank everyone on the panel and everyone who stayed here. Rainy day outside, 36 degrees. It's not that pretty out there, but guess what? It's worth it. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Rivera, and I am here today to testify on behalf of BronxNet Television. I speak not as an Access producer, but as a Riverdale resident who began her career at this wonderful Bronx resource some 15 years ago. All evening we heard about the importance of teaching students, and I was one of them. At the age of 16, I began interning at BronxNet, learning all that I could from studio productions to video editing. As I continued through college, my path continued at BronxNet as well, moving up the ranks and learning new skills. Even as I pursued my career at various companies, I stayed a part of the BronxNet family, producing for Bronx Lebanon Hospital Center's Health Beat, as well as Glennis Enriquez's Teens Talk to Glennis, both of which were created to keep the Bronx community informed with free information and access to professionals in the show topics given field. I can honestly say that I would not be where I am today if it was not for BronxNet. Not only is it a fantastic place to learn media skills, but it is also a needed resource for Bronxites to express their creative vision and provide local programming that would not be available otherwise. BronxNet has always been a leader and a visionary in its program. Before News 12, there was BronxNet's News 67. Before MSG Varsity Channel, there was Bronx Sports Talk. And before New York One's Inside City Hall, there was Gary Axelbank's Bronx Talk. I stand here today as the Director of Advancement for Cardinal Spellman High School. I stand here today as a film and video producer, and I stand here today as a success story of BronxNet Television. Please know that BronxNet is considered by myself and many to be a second home, providing lifelong friendships and a launch pad for many successful industry professionals. It is essential that BronxNet be given the opportunity to continue to provide for the next generation the same opportunities and education that it provided for me. Thank you for this time.
Thank you. Can I get your written testimony? Thank you. Professor Miguel Perez and Carlton Curry.
Good evening, Mr. Borough President, Madam Deputy President. Good evening. My name is Miguel Perez. I am a nationally syndicated columnist and CNN commentator, and I'm here tonight in my capacity as also a professor of journalism at Lehman College. The reason why I'm here is because I want to let you know what an important mission we have through BronxNet to educate our students. We have come up with a unique partnership with BronxNet, our journalism department has, in which we produce a program called the Bronx Journal, which airs several times during the week on Channel 67 on BronxNet. And it gives our students an opportunity to showcase their work, unlike most major universities in the country. Because we have this unique opportunity, my students can produce shows, DVDs, get credits on these DVDs so that then once they graduate, they can go out and apply for jobs in the real world. We are providing the kind of training that they need to go out and find jobs in the capital of the media, which is where we're at in New York. And our students are getting the experience through BronxNet to get those jobs. I am talking as someone who has been a newspaperman almost his whole life. And I am talking as someone who sees the shrinking jobs in the newspaper and the print media. I am talking as someone who was at CNN as a commentator and sees that the new jobs are growing in the area that I am training my students nowadays through BronxNet, and that is the area of producing segments. My students are segment producers on this show, just like they are on CNN and on most of the major networks in this country. They do exactly the same work that CNN producers are doing when they invite me on their shows to be a commentator. That's the training we're giving them. We came up with this unique partnership with BronxNet only 3 years ago, and it has been extremely successful. We have a multi-million-dollar new multimedia center at Lehman. We're just getting our hands on this new center, on this state-of-the-art equipment, and it would be a horrible shame if our students, this underserved community that we live in, if our students finally get their hands on this state-of-the-art equipment and the community at large is not able to see their work, would be a terrible tragedy. And I am here to tell you that we need BronxNet to continue educating our students. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Curry.